Hello, this is Patrick here, and I'm going to be doing the Interactive Advanced Concept Presentation number 8, which is the kinetic sand experiment. So, pretty much this week in class, we learned that polymers are pretty much found um, all over the planet. They have a lot of applications, and today we'll be making one of them, kinetic sand. So, for this experiment, it's very simple. Very simple parts of the experiment are required. First, I have some sand here, about a cup and a half worth of sand. I also have some dish soap and a little bit of water in this cup here. And I also have cornstarch. Now, I will be using a tablespoon of cornstarch for this, but I'll go into detail about the experiment in just a moment. First, going to do is I'm going to take a tablespoon of this cornstarch, and we're going to put it into the bowl of sand. My cornstarch and sand, I'm just going to mix them together, just so they're nice and evenly mixed, and then we'll move on to the next part of the experiment. So, an interesting fact is kinetic sand that's sold retail is actually just normal sand, except it's coated in silicone oil, which allows it to have that take shape easily, because it's being held together by the oil. So I guess in this experiment we are going to be replicating that oil in a sense by taking well, we'll get into that in just a second actually. I jumped the gun there. Let me just explain what we're doing with the dish soap. So I have a little bit of water here. I'm gonna put some of this dish soap in, and we're gonna mix it together. But I'm going to be pouring not all of this water and dish soap solution into the sand, just a little bit, just to get it a bit damp. I saw in the reference video that it probably isn't a good idea to put too much of the liquid inside the sand, or else it becomes too damp, too wet, and it just becomes wet sand. So now I will go ahead and mix this together. I have my dish soap water solution here. I'm going to pour a little bit of it inside of the sand and, I think that was too much. The sand and cornstarch solution. So I'm just going to mix this together, and I'm going to gradually start adding it into the bowl until it kind of, shows signs of being, closely resembling kinetic sand that you'd buy in a store. I came and I guess I finished this. We have this kinetic sand here. I guess kinda. It does feel a lot like just wet sand, though it isn't like super wet, isn't like damp. So my hands aren't like soaked when I touched it. Maybe because it is, wet. I am feeling the liquid, but it's really not that much. But I guess it somewhat works. I guess this experiment wasn't a complete fail. The way it's acting, I'm not sure if you can see. It's kind of separate. Oh, see, that's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of acting like wet sand, not kinetic sand. But like I said, it's not good to put too much of that water and soap solution, because it'll just literally just become wet sand. So, yep, that was the kinetic sand experiment.